May I welcome the House of Tiashans to this. It was really unscheduled meeting today that I will seek to answer the question that I posed. And the question was, can an investment of 1,000 US in cryptocurrency gives you US 11 million in 3 years? And is that irrational? Is that backed by anything? Did it happen before? And so we will look at what the fourth industrial revolution industry can do for us. And person need to understand that it wasn't fiat currency that first started this medium of exchange for goods and services. No, it wasn't. And so money itself has an history where it started with bartering. You know, you grow pineapples or oranges or banana. Another person might um, make shoes, another make dress, you know. And so you make your shoes, I sell you my fruits. And so that was what it was. There were no formal means of exchange for goods and services. So I just want us to go back in history to understand that money, what it is today, has evolved into what it is. And a lot of us can remember that when we first understood money and how monies were being transferred around the world, it wasn't as is today. And so don't think for one moment that money has stopped evolved. No, it has not. And as technology increases, we will see and experience different mechanism that are put in place to move money around. And so from bartering to salt and shells and cattle and metal, you know, and then coins, gold and silver and bronze coins, all these were used as a form of money, you see. And then it goes into the coins and the dollar notes. And then we have electronic money, plastic money, where you now push a card and money comes out. And you can send a wire transfer. A couple of years ago, nobody knew about wire transfers. If you want to send money to somebody overseas, you have to buy a draft, you know, and we used to have to register it. We call it registered mail. So when you receive a registered mail from anyone overseas, you know it's money because nobody registered a mail if it's not money because it was also expensive. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to understand where money began and where we are so you can appreciate what is happening. You cannot be a daft. You cannot continue to remain ignorant in an era where you have information at the click of a mouse. You cannot afford to remain ignorant. It is no excuse. And to remain poor, you have no excuse in this fourth industrial revolution of things. To remain poor, you really have no excuse, none whatsoever. Because in the fourth industrial evolution of things, you don't need politicians, you don't need anybody. All, all you need is a mission and a vision. the ability to rally people around a mission and a vision. That's all you need to make money. In this fourth industrial evolution, that's all you need to make money. You don't need the government, you don't need no handout. Because governments have no interest to lift everybody up where they should. It's just like the West. The Western world have no interest to rise Africa. No interest whatsoever. That's why you can slaughter each other in Africa. It means nothing to them. I said 99% of the things that are happening in Africa would never happen in the West. Never. Including malaria, of which one of our social programs that TAC will address. I said, we in our lifetime, we will see an Africa free of malaria, an Africa free of Ebola, an Africa free of typhoid and yellow fever, because these things does not exist around here. Malaria was eradicated since 1969, 69 or 59 in the United States. How come we have malaria still killing over nearly 1 million people every year in Africa? And this pandemic will worsen an already critical crisis situation in Africa, and that of hunger, because we think that malaria took out nearly 1 million, but hunger takes out more people out of Africa than malaria. And that is why we cannot play with TAC. We cannot play because TAC is big enough to rise everyone. But let me run because time is not with Mr. Abundance today. So let me answer the question. Can an investment of US 1,000 in cryptocurrency gives you 11 million in 3 years? I will play an audio of Hanya Glasgow. What happened to him in 2010? 2010. What happened to him? And I also want you to keep in mind, when Bitcoin rose to 20,000 a coin in 2017, no government had passed any laws recognizing cryptocurrency. No, not one. And so I want you to understand that cryptocurrency was at its highest when all governments were against it. I am now saying to you, the atmosphere that has now been presented, where governments and financial institutions around the world have now, and by the way, even the World Bank and the IMF did not recognize cryptocurrency. The IMF recognized cryptocurrency last year. Last year, Christine Lagarde began to use the phraseology that cryptocurrency is now an asset class. It's now an asset class. And that they too, that's what she told us last year, no? Christine Lagarde. And they too are experimenting with cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. That's what she says, you know. And she says, by the way, the cryptocurrencies that we are experimenting with, they will be used to pay the workers. Who is Christine Lagarde fooling? Who is Christine Lagarde trying to fool? That the cryptocurrency that the World Bank and the IMF are producing is to pay staff, those who are doing the experimentation. Who are they fooling? While they were saying that, the World Trade Organization are also experimenting with blockchain technology with over 45 million members globally, the World Trade Organization. And while the World Trade Organization was doing that, we were told that a central bank out of Canada and one in Singapore successfully transfer cryptocurrency via blockchain technology from one central bank out of Canada to another in Singapore, and it was backed by JP Morgan Chase and Company, and that transaction was successful. While Christine Lagarde is saying that the coins that they're creating is to pay for the experimentation. Who are they fooling? Not Mr. Abundance. And so let me begin to share my screen while we hit the board, because may I say to us, if we make this era where the greatest transformation of wealth pass us by, you may as well pack up and go home. Pack up and go home. And so let's hear what this young man has to say.
Money makes the world go around, but we could be moving towards a world without cash. From credit cards to Apple Pay and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, cash is no longer king. When I say Bitcoin, you say what? Pizza? This is Laszlo Hanya of Jacksonville, and it was a pizza delivery order 9 years ago that began the cryptocurrency craze. I just told people I wanted a pizza and I want to pay with Bitcoin. I didn't want a gift card. I didn't want some weird exchange. I wanted to give you Bitcoin and you give me pizza. The 37-year-old computer programmer created this thread in an online forum and posted that he would pay someone 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas. A user from England took him up on the offer, and these pizzas were delivered to Hanya's home. At the time, the 10,000 Bitcoins were worth about $40. Today, they will be worth $100 million. People ask me, oh man, why don't you keep that Bitcoin? And it's like, well, you know, somebody had to start it off. The pizza was purchased at this Papa John's on Atlantic Boulevard. There's even a plaque on the wall with the date May 22nd, 2010, and a proclamation that Jacksonville is the home of the first Bitcoin purchase.
That was what carelessness. This is what carelessness can do. And a lot of us who are intact will look back at this moment and we will fall into the same footstep as Hanya Glasgow. Carelessness. He did not take the time to educate himself. Had he taken the time to understand where the wind was blowing, he would have never became so careless to be selling 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 boxes of pizzas. This is what, when you are a wandering generality, wandering after everything, and then you will end up wandered after nothing. Because here you have a young man with over 100 million in his hands, but he did not recognize, he did not know it. A lot of us intact, you have 10 times 100 million that you can now hold, but you're playing the fool. But your history will be told for future generation, because your story will be told. I said, your story will be told because you were here with us. You saw all these things happen. And so we have the story out of Jacksonville. Now let's go to what is cryptocurrency. Let's talk about cryptocurrency for a little bit, and I'm sharing it with you. And most of this can be found in tax white paper. It says a because you need to understand when we talk about cryptocurrency what it is. You see, you have to know you need to know the fundamentals. It is not a pie in the ear. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not you just invest and then go to sleep. No, you have to be meaningful. And so a cryptocurrency is a digital asset designed to work as a medium of exchange using strong cryptography to secure financial transaction, control the creation of additional units, and verify the transfer of assets. Cryptocurrencies use decentralized control as opposed to centralized digital currency and central bank system. Now, what this is saying, that cryptocurrency is a decentralized, it's not controlled by the government, it's not controlled by a central bank. And so there's a difference between a government digital currency and a virtual or cryptocurrency. I just want you to understand, a government digital currency is basically if a fiat digital currency. It will still remain in the same value of the government currency in digital form. It will not appreciate in any value. So government digital currency is nothing to be excited about, because when they turn your CFA or your Naira or your US dollars into digital currency, it will still remain the same in your wallet, in your bank account. Only difference is now in digital form. Virtual or cryptocurrency now is different because they have the potential to appreciate in value based on supply, demand, and utilization. That's what gives cryptocurrency value. And that is why it's very important that we need to expand the base and to create utility for the coin, and to be a friendly operation, a system to everybody. Hence the two connected words, crypto and currency, mean digital money. This means the currency is not a fiat or paper money, which one can touch or feel. In due course, digital money will soon supplant fiat or paper money globally. It is the 21st century revolutionary means of exchange of stored value. The cryptocurrency digital money, the cryptocurrency digital money that came into existence is Bitcoin. In the year 2009, Bitcoin was created by an unknown entity or self-named Satoshi Nakamoto. The rapidly growing international cryptocurrency sector today boasts of a cumulative market capitalization of over, this is supposed to be 237 billion, up from 129 billion in 2008, and steadily rising. Over the past 10 years, adoption of cryptocurrencies has grown exponentially, primarily because of its attractiveness of people looking to use an alternative money. The Abundance Coin. The Abundance Coin is one of such currency that is called cryptocurrency, and we are a utility coin, not a security coin, because there's a difference again between a security coin and a utility coin. A security coin is backed by an external asset like gold and silver and diamond, real estate, or money itself, fiat money. That is a security coin. And that has a different system and procedure of operation. We are a utility coin that must give the coin usability. That is why our social programs, that is why we have to get our hospitals, that is why we have to get our airlines, our real estate, etc., etc. At the same time, both of them can appreciate in value on an exchange. That is the key to cryptocurrency. All right. Now, in November 4, 2019, marked the threshold of a new era. This new era witnessed the inception of a new phenomenon known as TAC, the abundance supposed to be community coin. A coin that was created in and by a global community of progressive people. A coin that is intended to generate an atmosphere to capture the hearts and souls of men, women, institutional investors, and governments around the world, with his unique approach to effecting his mission, and with his vision to create abundance and to eliminate poverty. TAC is a community-based coin with a strong global presence, even in the incubation period of development. The founding members came from all across continents and all prepaid for their coin. Such was their level of conviction, knowing that TAC will become the ultimate global financial solution in an era of cryptocurrency. The vision of TAC is to eradicate poverty, creating a level of equality, usher in a United Nation of Africa, and open economic channels from Africa to the diaspora. TAC's mission is to become the ultimate financial solution to settle Afro-Caribbean debt to China and other debtors, and to create a global financial stability for all people who have been handed generational scarcity, poverty, and man-made diseases by design. All right, and so we will stop there where the cryptocurrency and TAC. Now, please ensure to visit our website, so that I was speaking about TAC, so I should have gone down. Never mind. All right, so why, when I posed the question about can 100,000 investment, can an investment of 1,000, in cryptocurrency gives you US 11 million in 3 years. All right. Now let's look at what an unknown currency were able to do. Here we have Bitcoin, which is the first currency, unknown. At the time when this coin was at 20,000, as I said, not even a corporation wanted to see it. Nobody wanted to see it. All the business people, they were running. All the governments, they were running. But today, in 2010, Bitcoin was at 0.003. $15 worth, 1.5 would have given you 5,000. So we started out in 2010. I want you to understand what I'm saying. With $15, not 1,000, $15 by 2014, that $15 would have appreciated to 3,750,000. $15, oh. And by 2017, I'm talking about from 2010 to 2017, 6 years, we have an appreciated value. A $15 purchase now appreciate to 100 million US dollars. That was what $15 did. It did it with no help from government, no help from no one. Now, when I said if $1,000, and I'm being very moderate, I am being very moderate. I am telling you why I'm being moderate. And before, I hope I remember to come back, because I need to show you, by the way, let me just show you here just in case, why I am being moderate. Here you have TAC. You invest $1,000 today, you get 2,000 TAC. 2,000 TAC today. No, yes, 1,000 will give you 2,000 TAC. And so right now you have 2,000. We are predicting by next year the tax should be at least 500. And so your 1,000 invested in 2020 in 1 year should give you 1 million US dollars. All right? Now, all things equal, and we all become meaningful specific, because this will not happen overnight. And so don't say, Mr. Abundance, say, oh, by next year, the tax is supposed to be $1 million. It will be if all of us become meaningful and do what we're supposed to do. And so we're saying all of us become meaningful with our social programs, with our television and radio, beaming across the world, working with governments across the continents. By 2023, in 3 years, your TAC, your 1,000 investment should appreciate to 11 million. This is what I am talking about, because Bitcoin did it with no help. Now TAC has all the help in the world. And so by 2025, that $1,000 should at least give you 18 million. Can you imagine what other business could you have invested? I'm asking you the question. When you look at Bitcoin in 2010, $15 worth, by 2017, you would have had 100 million. If you had said that to anybody, they will run you with a cutlass. If you had gone to anyone and told them that this coin that everybody's calling a fake will rise to 20,000, you would have probably called the doctor that this guy is going crazy. No, it's not. And that is what is going to happen. And so why are you so confident, Mr. Abundance? Well, let's look at who will do it for us. You have Coinbase here. One of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange is said to be preparing to list on the US stock exchange. You're talking about cryptocurrency that everybody was holding with gloves is now poised to be on the United States Stock Exchange. Mr. Abundance continue. You have Canada Revenue Agency research. Bitcoin ATMs increase store traffic. You're talking about, at the time of writing of this document, which was prepared March 3rd, 2019, you had 4,300 Bitcoins ATMs in service worldwide. And I know that this number must have doubled since. And what they were saying, that ATMs in stores has increased traffic in Canada. Go on, Mr. Abundance. You have here headline, Wyoming passes bill to recognize cryptocurrency as money. I said to you, when Bitcoin went up to 20,000 a coin, these legislators were nowhere to be found. But here you are today. Wyoming legislator passed a bill to allow for the regulation and recognition of cryptocurrencies as money. Go and do your research. You may not be able to buy a Bitcoin today. And that is why TAC is very important at this juncture. Because in 2010, had anybody introduced you to cryptocurrency, you would have run them from your gate. You would have thrown hot water on them. Probably some of you would have pulled your knife or pulled your cutlass. Because even today in 2020, you have families are running away from cryptocurrency. And if some of you were not strong, you would have run too. Even today, as I'm speaking, while countries around the world are acknowledging cryptocurrency as the future, may I say to you, there are two different types of mindset. And when the Bible said that the poor shall be with you always, it's not that he wants any one of us to be poor, but our mindset will make us be carriers of wood and hewers of wood and carriers of water for the rest of our life. And not only for our life, because the seed that we're planting, our children shall also reap it. And so you have cryptocurrency, and you go home, you talk to your wife, or you talk to your husband, you talk to your kids, you say, listen, this is what is happening. That's a scam. No, don't get involved. They're going to come for us. That is what a lot of you are facing. You're running from wealth. But may I say to you that those who understand and take the time to understand cryptocurrency will hire you and those same children. And so you may not be able to buy a Bitcoin today, but you have the Abundance Community coin. The coin now is at 50 cents. Is at 50 cents. And so we started out, as you can see here, March, the first round of pre-sale for 3 months at the rate of 0.25. So we went public with our first round of TAC coins, and they were at 25 cents. June 14th, that second round began, and now the coin is at 50 cents. By September 15th, that 50 cents will be history. It now goes to 75 cents. And then from there, we go to $1 on the exchange. You may not can buy Bitcoin today, because Bitcoin now today is at 9,400 US dollars. A coin that every government up to today, they don't even understand what it is. Because may I say to you, if those governments who are talking against cryptocurrency, had they bought Bitcoin, they would have more than enough money to do everything that they wanted to do, rather than to go and borrow money from China. Had the governments invested in Bitcoin, they would not need any money from anybody. And that is why TAC is so critical. That the mistakes that the government made, we can rectify that with TAC. And while we're addressing governments, you too can position yourself in TAC. This is the time to buy TAC. Now it's at 50 cents. 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. This is the time. And so, I also want to share, when you come down, make sure that you visit our team of professionals from around the world. Take your time to go through our website, our directors and advisors. Our last member of the team was Samuel Adijakum, our Director of Global Unification, Ancestral Traditions, and Pan-African Affairs. And he lives in London. But I think he has Nigerian roots, if I am not mistaken. Forgive me if it is from Ghana, but it's one of those two countries. All right. And so we have our country managers and our regional directors right here. And so every country that we're in, and by the way, we still have a lot of countries that are missing from here. All right. So we have France, we have Trinidad and Tobago, we have Kenya, we have Uganda, Ghana, Togo, Burundi, Rwanda, the Bahamas, South Korea, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Antigua and Barbuda, Papua New Guinea, Lesotho. So we are well represented, so that you know that this is not a fly-by-night operation that is done between somebody's bathroom. This is a global structure that we have in place around the world. And so I thank all the leaders that are pushing TAC to the next level. And so continue, Mr. Abundant. And so you said Wyoming recognize cryptocurrency as money. We have Louisiana State Congress unanimously passed crypto business licensing bill. Because we like to say no, that we like to follow suit. So I am giving you everything here out of America and Canada, North America, because we have used them to be our standard. That is why I went from Canada to Wyoming to Louisiana, and I am down to Washington, D.C. Lawyers working within the jurisdiction of Washington, D.C. can now accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment for legal services. We leave from Washington, D.C., the capital, we go back up to New York. New York regulator proposes easing cryptocurrency rules. Then I go to Antigua and Barbuda, because that's where I am in the Caribbean. Antigua's crypto regulation bill passes the lower parliament. It headlines here, Antigua and Barbuda take steps towards becoming crypto-friendly destination in the Caribbean region. I am asking you, my brothers, what more evidence do you want? The script says that a word is sufficient to the wise, but it will take 1,000 to convince a fool. I don't think I have any fools here watching this presentation. And so this is where I end here, and I will now see what the house is saying. And so I welcome all of you here. Let me rush down quickly so we can do this in 5 minutes. Our greatness. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and the great Tiashin in the house. Good evening, Mr. N4. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. Yes, good evening out of France. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and the entire community of Tiashins. That is blessing. Hallelujah. That is one thing with blessing. Blessing shows up at every meeting. Victoria, good evening, house. Yes, good evening. Blessing to the house of Tiashin and our esteemed leader, Mr. Abundance from Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you very much, Joel. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, and to the world. TAC is going uphill, so let us all be meaningful from Ghana. Thank you very much, sir. Greetings to Mr. Abundance. Cryptocurrency is a savior to your humanity, especially to those who will know where the wind is blowing to, and TAC is the answer. Amen from Nigeria. Osman from Nigeria. Our ambassador in the house there. TAC is going up here. Thank you very much. Ahudo, I think this is your French translator now. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and TAC House. The biggest problem in Africa is ignorance and laziness. Oh, dear me. Are you confirming what Donald Trump allegedly said? No. Do you think that we're really lazy? I'm not too sure. I've seen some very hard-working Africans when I was in Africa. From Lesotho, good evening, Mr. Abundance and the Tiashin in the house. Okay, so I want to thank all of you for being here. This audio was intended for people who are here, people who are now getting involved in cryptocurrency. We have a lot of people that do not know what cryptocurrency is. They're still, this is very new, and it's very new to a lot of us. Even though it has created millionaires and billionaires, a lot of us are still running, because if it is not a job, it's not work. That's what it is. I remember one professor out of Cameroon said to Mr. Abundant, for I to have generated all this money, what would I have to do? Because he could not fathom how cryptocurrency could create millions. And he's showing up to a job every day, and he's still living from hand to mouth and scarce to want. And so that is what we know. And that is why I said that cryptocurrency is going to be foolishness to job seekers and those who seek for pension. As the script says, spiritual things are foolishness to the natural man. Well, may I say to you, cryptocurrency will be foolishness and ignorance to the job seekers and to those who are looking pension. This is Mr. Abundance. Enjoy your day.